Welcome back to DreamMorpher, where we dive deep into the stories behind the stories. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome a powerhouse, an actress whose range spans blockbuster hits and dramatic soul searchers. She stepped into one of literature's most haunting love stories and brought its fierce heart to life. Margot Robbie, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Emma. It's great to be here. This one has been quite the journey.
Let's start at the beginning. Wuthering Heights is an icon of romantic tragedy and emotional turbulence. What drew you to Catherine Earnshaw, a character rooted in obsession and stormy passion?
Catherine is electric and complicated, a woman caught between social conventions and a wild, unfiltered heart. What pulled me in was her duality. She's both fragile and ferocious. The story has this raw energy. The moors, the winds, the way love becomes something that haunts every character. That complexity is irresistible for an actor. You're asking, what would it feel like to love someone so intensely that it defines your whole existence?
That intensity is exactly what the story thrives on. Speaking of defining love, your character's relationship with Heathcliff is legendary for being destructive as much as it is passionate. When you first read the script, did it change how you thought about love stories?
Absolutely. Love in this narrative isn't comfortable. It's tribal. It's primal. It's the kind of bond that echoes through pain, jealousy, revenge. Most love stories we see are about finding peace, but Cathy and Heathcliff, they find fire. And fire doesn't calm, it consumes. Stepping into that made me rethink how we talk about love and obsession in cinema.
Wuthering Heights stands out visually and emotionally from other adaptations. Emerald Fennell's vision has been described as bold and provocative. What was it like collaborating with her on shaping this version of Cathy?
Emerald pushes boundaries. She isn't afraid to make viewers uncomfortable when it serves the truth of a scene. Working with her meant diving into emotional extremes. She sees the story not as a period piece but as a visceral experience. We talked at length about how Cathy's choices are rooted in fear and desire, and that informed everything from her movements to her silences.
That depth shows. Now, Heathcliff's return later in the story drastically shifts the dynamics. Without spoiling too much for listeners who haven't seen the film yet, what does Heathcliff's return represent for Cathy?
Heathcliff's return is like a ghost rising from the heart. For Cathy, it's not just him returning, it's her reckoning with the choices she made. It's unresolved hunger. It's everything she couldn't define in her youth coming back to shake her reality. It's not forever love. It's unfinished breath.
Your performance is already sparking debate online. Some love the faithful emotion, others highlight the deviations from the original novel. How do you navigate the balance between honoring the source material and embracing a fresh cinematic interpretation?
It's about emotional truth more than literal fidelity. The novel is sacred, but every adaptation is a conversation with the past. We looked at what makes these characters unforgettable and then asked, what would that feel like today? Not to modernize it, but to make the pain and obsession recognizably human.
With thematic layers of love, vengeance, and regret woven through the story, did you find certain scenes stayed with you long after shooting wrapped? Even haunting you?
Definitely. There were days on set when the wind and the moors became a character, and suddenly you're not acting, you're breathing the scene. The silence after an intense take sometimes weighed heavier than the dialogue itself. It wasn't just filming a story, we were living it momentarily.
The film's release timing near Valentine's Day adds a unique twist. Romance marketed in an intense, almost unsettling package. Was that juxtaposition intentional, or just a happy coincidence?
It wasn't accidental. Love isn't always gentle, and releasing it around a day that celebrates love transforms the conversation. It says, look deeper. Romance isn't only roses and bliss, sometimes it's storm and fire.